picture this like a drone flying through a super dark forest, and it can see because it has something like cat eyes.
Yeah, it does sound kind of like science fiction when you put it like that.
Right. But it's actually happening.
It is, yeah, it's really incredible.
It really is. So we're talking about a future where robots can see in like total darkness.
Basically, and it's all because these researchers are, they're basically copying the way cats' eyes work.
It's a really cool example of, using nature to solve problems, right?
Biomimicry.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is a big, like, one of the biggest problems in robotics is, getting robots to see in different types of light.
Oh, for sure. Huge problem. And it's one of the main things holding them back from being used in the real world.
Right. Like self-driving cars, they're great until it starts raining or there's too much glare.
Yeah, or think about like delivery drones right now. They pretty much have to stop as soon as the sun starts to set.
Which is where cats come in.
With their amazing eyes.
With their amazing eyes, yeah. So, like, everyone knows cats can see in the dark, but what's the science behind it? What makes their eyes so special?
Okay, so couple things. First, there's the shape of their pupils. You know, those vertical slits.
Yeah, it makes them look kind of scary.
Right. Well, those slits are actually what let cats adjust how much light gets into their eyes way more precisely than we can with our round pupils.
So it's like they have built-in, like, dimmer switches?
Exactly. In bright light, their pupils can become like tiny slits, which stops them from being blinded and helps them see clearly. And then when it's dark, those pupils can open up really wide to let in every bit of light.
Okay, that makes sense, but is that it?
That's just part of it. The really cool stuff is happening in the back of their eyes where they have this thing called the tapetum lucidum.
Pedum lucidum.
Yeah, it's a reflective layer that sits behind their retina.
Okay, so, like, what does that do?
Imagine a mirror that reflects any light the retina missed back through the eye so it gets a second chance to be detected.
Oh.
Yeah, it basically amplifies the light, which is why cats can see so well even in near darkness.
So that's why their eyes seem to glow in the dark.
Exactly. And it's this combo of the adaptive pupils and the tapetum lucidum that gives them that, like, almost supernatural night vision.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So are researchers literally building robots with cat eyes now?
Well, not exactly. Haha. No robot cats just yet.
Okay, good.
But there's this professor, Young-Min Song, and his team over at the Gwangju Institute of Science and Technology in South Korea. They've developed this new vision system that basically copies the important parts of how cat eyes work.
Okay, so how does it work?
Well, they've made this system that uses a special lens that has a slit-like opening, just like a cat's pupil, and that helps to, get rid of extra light and keeps the image from being overexposed, especially in bright conditions.
Oh, that's cool. So it can see clearly in both bright and low light, just like cats.
Exactly. But they didn't stop there. They also added a reflective layer to the sensor of the system to mimic that light-amplifying power of the tapetum lucidum we talked about.
Oh, right.
This layer basically catches and redirects light that would normally be lost, which makes the system way more sensitive in low light. And get this, their research was just published in Science Advances last month.
Wow, so this is like cutting edge stuff. But how does all this actually make robots see better?
So it's not just about being able to see in the dark. This system is about helping robots tell the difference between objects in the background, especially in low light.
Okay, so it's like not just seeing more, but seeing better.
Right, exactly. It's like when a cat is stalking its prey, it's ignoring all the distractions in the background and just focusing on its target.
Yeah.
This vision system allows robots to do the same thing.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and what's really clever about this is that rather than just trying to improve vision by using a more powerful computer, it's using a smarter design.
So it's more efficient.
Way more efficient.
And that's really important for robots that need to be mobile and run on battery power.
Exactly. It makes a huge difference.
Okay, I am officially excited about this technology. We've covered the why and the how, but I want to know more about what this technology can do. Where can this cat-eye vision really make a difference?
Oh, tons of them, and across all sorts of different fields.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, well, how about this? Imagine you're driving at night. Right.
Okay, yeah.
And it's super foggy. You can barely see anything in front of you.
Oh, I hate driving fog. It's so scary.
Right. It's dangerous. But now imagine the self-driving cars we were talking about before, but they have this new cat-eye vision system.
Okay.
They can navigate through that fog no problem because their sensors would be able to cut through the murk, identify obstacles and hazards, all that.
Wow, that would be a game changer for safety.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's not just cars either. Think about drones.
Oh, yeah, those are everywhere these days.
Right, but right now, they're not so great in low light or bad weather. But with this enhanced vision, they could be used for, like, search and rescue missions in dense forests, even at night.
Wow, that's incredible. It'd be like having, like, a search party that can see in the dark.
Exactly. Or think about, like, wildlife monitoring. We could track nocturnal animals so much easier.
Oh, that's a really cool application.
Yeah, and think about industrial settings too, like factories, construction sites, even underwater exploration. Robots with this cat eye vision could work in like really dimly lit or dangerous places, which would make things safer for human
That
workers.
makes a ton of sense. So many possibilities.
Hmm.
But I'm curious, is this technology only for these, like, really big applications, or could it be used in everyday life too?
That's a great question. And actually, one really promising area is assistive devices for people who are visually impaired.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Imagine like glasses that use this tech to help people see better in low light.
That would be amazing. It could really give people a new sense of independence.
Exactly. It's incredible to think that an idea inspired by cats could have such a huge impact on people's lives.
I know. And to think, this is just the beginning.
Right. This technology is still really new, so who knows what kind of amazing stuff they'll come up with next.
It's definitely an exciting time for robotics. But before we move on, I just want to take a minute to appreciate how cool this whole thing is. Like, we had to look to nature to find a solution to this problem.
It really shows how important biomimicry is.
Totally. And it just goes to show you, sometimes the best solutions are the ones that have been right in front of us all along.
Yep, we just have to know where to look.
I like that. But I can already hear our listeners thinking, if we can copy a cat's vision, what's next? What other animal senses are we going to steal? That's what I want to know. We've been talking about cats, but like the animal kingdom is full of crazy senses that put ours to shame. What else is out there?
Right, like imagine if we could figure out how bats use echolocation.
Oh yeah, there's sonar.
Exactly. Think about the possibilities for like autonomous vehicles, drones, any robot that has to navigate in the dark or in, tough conditions.
Yeah, like what if self-driving cars could use sound waves to get around in thick fog instead of just relying on cameras? That would be incredible.
Right, especially in places that get a lot of fog or even heavy snow.
Totally. And it's not just about navigation either, right? Like, what about dogs? Their sense of smell it's insane.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we use dogs to sniff out drugs and explosives already, but imagine if we could make sensors that were even a fraction as sensitive as a dog's nose.
We could probably detect all sorts of things, diseases, maybe even.
Yeah, the possibilities are huge.
It's kind of mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah.
Like, the solutions to some of these problems could be right there in the animal kingdom, and we just haven't figured them out yet.
And that's kind of the challenge, isn't it? Bridging that gap between biology and engineering, really understanding how these animal senses work so we can try to replicate them.
It's like we need a whole new kind of scientist, part engineer, part biologist, part, I don't know, animal whisperer.
Uh-huh, something like that.
But seriously, I think the more we can break down those barriers between different fields, the more amazing discoveries we're going to make.
Oh, absolutely. The future of tech is all about interdisciplinary collaboration, bringing those different perspectives together.
I totally agree. Well, I think that about wraps it up for our deep dive on cat eye vision and the future of robotics. This was a cool one.
It was really interesting.
Always is. It's amazing, how much we can learn from nature and how it can inspire us to create these incredible technologies.
It's true. Nature is full of surprises.
Well said.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think it's time for us to sign off. Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep those imaginations running wild. And remember, sometimes the best ideas are the ones we borrow from the natural world.